Good morning, lovelies. It's Tuesday. I think it's the 30th, but I don't have my watch on to tell me that. Well, let's go with that. Oh, excuse me. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all okay. Thank you for all your comments yesterday. Headache is better. Still there a little bit, but much better, thank you. Like I say, the headache and I, oh, hello, are old friends, so we're used to each other. Tuesday, so I have a ceremony at lunchtime today, and otherwise just working. As you can see by my shawl usage, it's a chillier day today, and in fact it looks very grey and miserable out there. Oh, I don't like that at all. Considering we were basking and struggling to keep ourselves comfortable in the heat last week, it's very much changed. So yes, Tuesday. That's it really. Just plodding on, more of the same. Didn't get much knitting done yesterday. Fell asleep in the armchair. There you go. But hopefully back on it with a vengeance today. So yes, I shall take you with me during my day. But there won't be pretty sunny scenes today because it looks like winter. I mean, it's not, but it looks like winter. When I was making a cup of tea this morning, I thought, is it too early for a hot chocolate? It was that kind of weather, you know. I stuck with tea. I think that's wise. So take care all, and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers. Now, I better mention something before I get told off by my mate Mand, she has lots of ideas for content for the podcast and for the vlog. Some are more practical than others. Thanks, Mand. But this is one that she thought might be of interest. I will preface it by saying that a few people have mentioned to me the Christmas in July fairies, crochet fairies. That's not something I personally am getting involved in, and I have said I can't cope with Christmas yet. So I'm now going to talk to you about something Christmassy. I never said I was consistent. Yeah. My mate Mandy has said to me about, this is going to be more I think for UK folks. It's a National Trust property, Standen House, which I think is in Northamptonshire. And they have a winter tree of hope, they call it, and they're looking for crafters to make decorations. Now, there are instructions, so I will put the link in the notes below, but if that's something you want to get involved in, the details will be there. Basically, the blurb is, Heidi obviously wants to join in, we want you to create a piece of art no larger than 20 centimetres by 20 centimetres in size that will join hundreds of pieces crafted by people just like you. This will form part of a huge contemporary art installation in the house courtyard at Standen, which will be lit up over Christmas 2020 to celebrate creativity, positivity, and being able to meet up with friends and family. Well, that certainly is a tree of hope. I don't know what's up with her. Yes, I'll put the link in the notes below, and if you're interested, then I hope you take part. Cheers all. Well, lovelies, I've got very fluffy hair today, and I think it's rained all day. Now, whether that's made my hair fluffy or not, I don't know, but look at this. It used to be cut up above my ear. I'll stop moaning. Hope you've had a good day. Got a fair amount of what I needed done today. I never get everything done, you know that. Apart from that, just same old. Yeah, so it's now 6:15, just gone. I think I've finished work for the day. Probably got something I could do, but I think I'm nearly done. And the evening will be spent knitting. Himself is cooking dinner again. I'm not sure what he's got planned. Don't really care. He's not made a bad thing yet, so I'm happy to go with whatever it is. And I'm sure it'll be delicious. I'm sure it'll take me ages to clean the kitchen afterwards, but that's okay. Yes, he's very into this. It was quite interesting yesterday when his brother and nephews were here. He was showing them his spice cupboards. So he's very proud of his collection, I think. I used to conduct weddings. I don't anymore. The way the law is set in the UK, the weddings I conducted were more like blessings. So it was more about if someone wanted to have a wedding ceremony in their garden or at a nice location, they would go and do the legal part of a wedding at a register office, and then I would do big fancy big white frock ceremony with them. I don't do them anymore. I'm not the world's biggest fan of weddings, and I found the way they were put together didn't really suit me. The preparations would go on for sometimes years, and that's not me. But I have been watching the situation around weddings with interest in regard to coronavirus, because when the lockdown first kicked in, most weddings were cancelled because the rulings were you couldn't have more than 5 people there, and that 5 people would include the minister or officiant, the bride and the groom. The ban on weddings has now been lifted, but there are still quite strict guidelines, so just going through them. 30 people allowed to attend, so maximum of 30. Singing discouraged, so if you're having a church service and you want some hymns, you're out of luck. And no reception afterwards. So, yeah, just looking at the news article on it, some people are still having a very low-key wedding when they had it planned for, but they'll have the reception and a big party a few months hence, when hopefully they'll be able to have all the guests there that they would want. So it's very strange times still, and it's going to be for a long time, I think. These things are about ritual, if I can say it properly, ritual. And the things that we do to feel like we've gone through that process. So it's very interesting at the moment. If I've talked about this stuff before, then please forgive me. It's just this news item today has kind of brought it to mind again. Because there's also that feeling that the moment will pass. So people may go through the legalities, the weddings, the small ceremony, and they'll do that now. But will the moment pass? If it's 8 or 9 months before they can have the huge gathering they wanted, will their guests feel the same way about it? You know, we're gathering together to celebrate the fact you've been married nearly a year. It's interesting to see how it will go. But these are all new rules at the moment. They're all new rules, new ways of doing things, and people are just finding their way through them. So folks will do what works for them, as they've always done. It's just we're working in different constraints at the moment. So those are my musings. Sorry, I've rambled on to those. So me and my fluffy hair will finish up for the day. Wish you a fair evening, day, morning, whatever part of the day it is for you. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you for all of the comments, the thoughts, the observations. Really very much appreciated. You all take care, and I will see you again tomorrow. Cheers then. Bye bye.